Some burnt out employees aren't quitting their jobs. They are just quitting the idea of going above and beyond at work. It's being called quiet quitting, and it was popularized by one person on TikTok who defined the term. Take a look.
I recently learned about this term called quiet quitting, where you're not outright quitting your job, but you're quitting the idea of going above and beyond. You're still performing your duties, but you're no longer subscribing to the hustle culture mentality that work has to be your life. The reality is it's not, and your worth as a person is not defined by your labor.
All right, so what do you think about this idea of quiet quitting and not trying to exceed expectations at work? Al, you've got a very, you're contemplating. What's going on?
Because I get it, and I think it's a cool thing to say, I'm in the moment, I'm at work, and then I have my own life, and I don't give too much to work. And we've seen people that have overworked themselves and burnt themselves out, parents that have affected them negatively, health-wise and mentally. But at the same time, when I saw that, I saw a young guy that should be I feel like those are your years to be on it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, to hustle, but without falling into that rise and grind, not that. I'm just talking about being passionate about something and going forward. Even if it's not your day job, I think you can probably still learn something from your day job. If you work here, you can look about marketing, and now you want to do the jardinier, so you can apply that. You don't have to just separate your life like that. So.
Yeah, for me, I don't like it at all. And maybe I'm just old school and grumpy, but if I start my own company, right, I don't want this to be people's mentality. You're going to come to work for me, you're going to hustle, and you're going to climb your way up the ladder. I'm old school in that sense that you come to work, you show up, you give it 110%, and then you move up to the next rung of the ladder, and it never stops, right? You want to keep climbing that ladder. To be complacent and mediocre is what we promote in this country. I'm not for it. I'm all for hustling and outworking the person next to you and shining in your own sense, even if you don't get those awards or whatever at work. You know that you put in hard days at work and you could go to sleep at night.
I think, great point. I think that what he says is just acting passively aggressively. It's not quiet quitting, it's just being totally passive aggressive.
He's doing his job, but with no passion behind it, it seemed like.
Yeah, and that's sort of a way
the bare minimum.
The bare minimum, right? So I understand your point of view because I come from that where you show up at work, you don't work from home, you do that, and my career is number one. My ambitions are number one in my life. However, I think there's going to be a reformation of what work means in this country.
I agree with that.
I don't think the work-life balance, it's not the resignation because there isn't jobs to be had. They can no longer be okay to do that work-life balance.
I just think, I worry that the pendulum is going to swing too far. And I agree with you, and I do think I don't think we should be in a gig economy. I don't think people should be working 3 jobs in order to pay rent and not even be able to save like our parents did to purchase a home. So I get that aspect of it. But you got to pay your dues, in my opinion. I know everybody wants to do what they love. Of course, let that be your job in 5 years, because the reality is you're probably not going to do what you actually love until you actually climb that ladder, to Jeff's point. So I remember working at Judge Judy, wanting to be a producer. I remember starting as a PA and literally being the first one there, the last to leave, smile on my face, and hungry and excited. And when I finally got promoted, it was rewarding because I knew I earned it and I knew I hustled.
I just wanted to throw one caveat in there. What if you're talking about this generation where, unlike you, Sam, that had dreams of buying a house now for this generation
is out of the picture for me. I bought a house at 41 years old.
Right,
I just bought my first home.
And if your mentality to attack life is mediocrity and giving it my bottom basement, you're never going to have that hunger. You think it just turns on when you're 40? You have to build up to that. You have to put in the extra work. You have to come early. You have to not complain. You have to stay later. I've done all that. It's the mentality of, you want me to clean toilets? I'm going to make the shiniest toilet there is. And you're going to have that when you're 40 with this mediocrity that we're just letting people get by and hey, here's a ribbon for 10th place. That's not how I'm going to raise my kids. Everyone else could do whatever they want, but my kids are going to learn the value of $1 and hard work and hustle because it shows you inside who you are.
I 100% agree. I'm just saying the people out there that are workaholics making not enough money might feel like there needs to be a different balance, but I agree. Hustle is everything. I agree.
Yeah, people, believe me, I agree with the gig economy not working for people. It's not fair. I totally agree with you there.